Hey guys, I'm RunBuck on RunBuck on Games. I got another JTJ Main recap for you. This time we took on Panama's Elite. And it actually ended up being kind of a mismatch. We rolled them, as you can see here, 113 to 90 was the score. But as always, we have a few voted on. It's a lot of voting actually from this war. So I'll give you the top 3 voted on attacks, and then give you one serendipity attack. But before I do that, let me show you. Well, I'll save it to the end. There's something special to show you at the end. For those of you that actually watch the end, you'll get to see it. But let's focus on the attacks for those that don't really care. They just want to see the attacks. Let's get to that instead. And we'll start with I was voted on for one of the attacks. Top vote getter actually. So too bad for the other two guys. Gotta talk smack when I can, because most of the time I am horrible. But let's take a look at this attack. It wasn't that amazing. I mean, it had some interesting components to it. It was a max Town Hall 11. I don't know if the base design is something I would recommend, but the key here that you're going to see as you're going is I'm going to end up creating 2 cuts that basically create a nice channel for the main thrust to move through. So the first cut is from the bowler walk that then pushes into the mid, and then I use a King Suicide over here to cut the other side, and then we get to the mid, and just some patience with the tome ability and a rage, and you power through. Now the base design actually had a nice component. Look at this actual, I don't know if it was from experience or planning, but 3 bombs were actually placed along, oh there it was over there. But 3 bombs were placed on the walls. It's almost like they knew that this was going to be the line of attack typically, and their game plan was to give up the coming through core and then kill them on the coming through side. But it didn't work out. I powered through it. But you know, I don't know. You know, it's a good 3-star. It had good cuts with it. But you know, I think other 3-stars are more impressive than that one. But hey, man, beggars can't be choosers, and I need all the help I can get. So let's just give myself my own high five. Way to go, RunBuck. You are awesome today, or just today only. Then also we had a very nice attack. Second vote getter was Mr. Darth Carlos. Town Hall 10. And he's going to be doing an interesting bowler walk, or charge is probably the better way to phrase it. But he also uses Baby Dragon. And he's been getting a lot of value to Baby Dragon. You'll notice he has a level 3 Baby Dragon, so he's probably more viable for him to be doing it. But really gets good value. But I don't know if it's much more value than a Valk. Notice, so 2 buildings were taken out there by this Baby Dragon. 2 are going to get down by this guy. And then he gets a 3rd, which is where I think the Baby Dragon actually excels. Is sometimes we'll get a 3rd building, whereas a Valk, which is actually a more expensive play, will typically only get 2 before it gets shot down by the ranged, you know, archer towers and other things. But at this point, he's got the nice set of tables set up. Really a nice table here, but probably just that one is one you want to talk about. And then he just kind of does a bowler charge with some healer support behind it and drives through. Now he uses 2 freezes, you know, which is interesting. I've been pondering as I watch Darth do that. As I do nukes from Town Hall 11, whether or not to use a freeze instead, because the tome really accomplishes the freeze. So maybe for the first side, but for the back sides of Town Hall 11, maybe freezing that back side, because really multi-targeted infernos on bowler pushes is a problem for them. They can get burned down pretty quick. They're not the healthiest units in the world. So I might start playing around with, you know, a freeze when I'm doing nukes, as I continue to try to increase my nuke percentage, trying to get more to around 100% for that. I know the clan would appreciate it if I could do that. But otherwise, a very good attack by Darth. And I mean, he's a max Town Hall 11. I think this is his max Town Hall 11 account. Or no, yeah, Town Hall 10. Town Hall 10. So he's a max Town Hall 10. So he has all the, like, 40/40 heroes and etc. that really help him power through the attack. Around the horn he goes, dun, 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 and done. So that was pretty good. And then our 3rd vote getter was Frog, who actually hasn't been on as of late. I think that was on number 13. So let's take a look at Frog's attack. He actually does a queen walk, but what's interesting about that is he also does a nice king suicide off of it to get the other side cut established. And I'm seeing more of that actually going down as a king suicide where you sacrifice the king to establish a cut lane. The queen though here is just going to kind of walk and end up taking out this segment of the base. And then he'll king suicide down this lane here. So he's just hammering along, and then after that he's just going to do a more classical Valk action with the healers to move it through. So he'll end up coming this way with the healers, not with the healers, with the Valks, and then heal them on that. And I don't know why, versus, so this is more of a HeBo without the split, without the healers on a Valk team, which is what a lot of the JTJ main attacks tend to look like. Is they're not doing this heal action. Instead, they've got more healers, and they've got a heal pack behind these healers. And maybe what he saw there was the risk of not being able to control that AD, right? So knowing that he's going to come in here, and he can't really control on the second wall break which wall the Valks are going to break through. The way to mitigate that is to drop the healer support on those Valks and just go back to more of a classical push with the heal support instead of healers. So, in hindsight, if that's what he was thinking, well done. Good thinking. And it's kind of similar to like bowlers. When you can't control or know where they're going, you got to have a game plan. Because bowlers have the same issue on wide open spaces. They kind of become a little unruly. So very nice attack, and for a couple different reasons for Frog there. And then we have some serendipity. Who shall we visit just for funsies? So we go to see some of the people that were voted for. Let's go ahead and let's do that. Let's just go with somebody that got not the top 3 votes, but somebody got a vote. Let's see here. Number 20 got a vote. Who is it? I'll tell you. AV7, also known as a.k.a. from past history with JTJ, has returned to JTJ Main. Let's see here. What is he doing? I haven't looked at this one. Looks like he is doing a queen walk. Oh, since you're not one of the top 3, you don't get slow speed. You're 4 times speed. Looks like queen walk with a king suicide, and then he comes with some bowlers. All right, bowlers with the healer supported Valks. There's, of course, I didn't have to go far. This is why we brought a.k.a. up, so that he could show the JTJ favorite attack with a little bit of special sauce with this bowler little thrown in there from the CC. And sometimes I see that, and I don't know yet whether or not I would say that just doing that versus just going straight Valk is better. It does give the attack a little bit more range than if you just had more Valks there than having the 30 slots dedicated to bowlers. And I know that some of our other top Town Hall 9s are also looking at it, trying to decide. So I think the jury's still out on whether or not that bowler augmentation of a healer push is good or bad, better than just straight up healer. If we get to a consensus on that, I'll let you know. Should we do one more? One more? We're at 8 minutes. All right, one more. All right, let's see. Let's take a look at. And also, Akash had a 6-star war there, a 6-pack, as they say. So, good job. Elysier also got a vote. We'll stop with him. He's been on a couple of the early ones, one of our better attackers. Where you at, buddy? Was it 13? 12? 12, there you are. So, let's see what you did on 12. 4 times speed, you get no love. You didn't get enough votes. And he starts the queen walk. Looks like he's going to do, so you can see he's got the other healers in inventory, so it's going to be some type of healer supported bowlers. So a little bit of a variant there. He's walking the queen one way and the bowlers the other. So he's really laying the base open, and then does a nice dive of the bowlers with the Valks. So he kind of lets them pick up. Notice how this Valk picked up the Valks, or that healer picked up the Valks, and that healer tried to follow the bowlers, and then they died off. But it ended up working. Let's go back and look at that one briefly, because that's a different, somewhat unique mix. You don't see that as often. So let's pause a minute. Now, why would he have thought of that? The queen walk is pretty pretty obvious. You know, you got the setback from there on those two ADs, so this walk for a queen is very safe. So I get that part. The bowler walk, I mean, it's not really needed. Because the range of that AD is somewhere around here. So I guess he was worried as it walked that they would get some snipe shot action on it. So what's nice about the bowler is that I think that range of a double hit, although that's out of range even of the bowler. So I don't think it really mattered that he did bowler walk this direction. So it's really a question of, is there value of having the bowlers driving the middle? Let's take a look at it one more time and kind of see. We'll go fast speed and then we'll stop. Bring out that queen. Okay, here he goes. Ding, 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 ding. Okay, right there. Now, so usually I would switch to bowlers if I thought that they would give me the reach to the AD so that my healers could move on unmolested. But you can see here that really, oh, it did get there. Okay. And see, I didn't think it would because of that gapping, right? Because it's, so, you know, if you have them side by side where it's kind of like there's no wall and it's sitting right there, that for sure works. And then if there's one gap, it works. And if it's two gap with the wall, it works. But what he got was it actually hit the wall, and then he got splash damage from it. So I'll just have to remember that a two gap to the backside can work. Okay, my bad, Eliezer. I wouldn't have gone for that. I wouldn't have believed it would do it. But he got it off splash damage. It didn't actually directly hit the tile in front of it. Okay, so that makes sense of why he went bowler then. So anytime that you see the AD set back, which is what I do look for, but I don't know if I would have recognized that one or not, but the two gap is the maximum distance it can throw. And then in this case, it basically threw like this to this and landed right here, and then the splash damage caught it and got him the thing. So if you get two gap off the wall directly aligned to it, the two gap is, I'm referring to this gap here. That's an ugly line. That gap's the two gap. All right, so that does it. But wait, I told you there was a special something for this edition, and it is this. Check it out. Let me edit my layout and show you what I have accomplished. Remove all. Right there, my friends. 275 walls, all done. 3 years in the making. My life is complete. What will I do now? Work on Elixir. And then when that's done, maybe I'll stop farming all the time. That would be nice. Good luck, guys, in your wars, and we'll be up with our next recap in a couple days.
What am I gonna do? My clan sucks. Hey, it's JTJ.
I think that's an all-out attack.
No, it's the legendary JTJU. JTJU. What? I like Greyhorn. You and this army. Download Clash of Clans for free. Then subscribe to JTJU and win.